Welcome, viewers, to today's episode of The Diagnosis. Today we're going to be diagnosing the story, Marriage is a Private Affair. Basically, the concept is a father loves his son, but he does not love his son's choice to marry a girl outside of the tribe. Today we interviewed Lisa Llinas and E. Now, it was quite a treat interviewing E because, well... anyway, let's get started with our interview. Here we go. So, Lisa, tell us what your opinion is on the book, on the story, Marriage is a Private Affair. What is your input on that?
Well, that was a good book. It was great, actually. Made me think. It reminded me of like a lot of the stories, or like a lot of other stories I read, because I just like stories like that. And a lot of the movies are kind of like that too. Involves like two people fall in love and then the parents don't like them and then it's a big mess and then families start talking, because that's what the book was about.
Hey, sorry about the no shaking hand thing. It's just whenever in movies people shake hands and they're clones, whenever they're clones and they're shaking hands, they die because their molecular structure can't handle it. So I don't want to kill you or me. It's in our best interest. What was your opinion of the story, Marriage is a Private Affair? I thought it was an awesome story. Simply because the idea behind it, it's so brilliant. Like, it's a story about this guy who's engaged to this girl. And he can't bring himself to tell his father about it because his father, him and his father are from a different tribe, and he marries this whole completely different girl. He wants to marry this whole completely different girl, and his father does not want that. So, Lisa, what's your opinion on the idea that, well, how would you feel if your parents chose who you had to marry? How would you feel? How would you respond to that?
Well, it depends. I mean, well, I don't really think my parents have a good idea of my type of person. So, obviously, someone that they wanted for me would not be someone that I wanted.
What would you do if your parents chose a girl for you to marry without your consent? All I'm saying is that no, I don't think I'd respond too well to that. Well, why? I think I know who's best for me. E knows what's best for E. Am I right? Lisa, let's put you in a scenario. Let's say that your parents, let's say that you have a boyfriend, all right? Let's say you have a boyfriend, and he loves you, but your parents hate the idea that you're with him. What would you do?
Well, what would I do? Well, I would definitely have a talk with my parents. And then second, I'd have a talk with my boyfriend. And then I would put both sides' opinions together. And then I would sit in a room by myself and then make a decision.
They like cover your face with that little blurry thing. Can you do that? So, Lisa, would you recommend this book, this story, to other people?
Yeah.
So, would you recommend this book to other people, E? Definitely. I would definitely recommend it to other people, I guess. It's not that hard. Hey, you want to read a book? You guys make it seem difficult. It's not that tough.
I recommend it to people. Certain people who actually don't mind stories that take forever to get to the point.
But you gotta admit, it's an awesome story, though.
It's an awesome story. It's an awesome story. It's just...
Sometimes hot dogs do taste better.
Okay.
I was reading the story, and it took me a while to figure out that the main part of the story was the fact that the grandfather didn't know if it would be a good idea, or didn't know whether he should go and start talking to his son, which he betrayed because he did not marry the person that he wanted him to marry. So he had to pick and choose if he wanted to do that to see his grandkids. So after all of this detail in the beginning, I finally got to that. But yeah, it's a good story.
Sweet. Sweetness.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to other people. It's an awesome book. You should all read it, man. I had 3 days of ISS. Randomly. Someone got me in trouble. So I had 3 days of ISS. Right? It's never my fault. It's never the actual person's fault. But anyways, I got ISS, and they had the literature book in there, and I opened it up to that story, and I read it, and it was like the first story that I've read all the way through in like a very long time, probably like 6 months. Not precisely, of course, but it's a pretty good book. Caught my attention for that long, so I definitely recommend it for people in ISS and other people around the world, but mostly in ISS. Alright, thank you for coming. Get out.
Thank you, E and Lisa, for that information. Join us next time for The Diagnosis.